And that's one thing that is difficult. We can't assess a lot of times what is happening because there's no real dialogue.
You know, we have learned from some of our people that have contacted us that activated charcoal will mitigate the symptoms or can neutralize benzene, and it neutralizes 3,000 other items. I'd like to offer to you that we'd like to get you started with a case of activated charcoal. Send that down to you. You can use it at your discretion or not use it at your discretion. But I think we need to do and inform our people in any way that we can. We'll be back after this 3-minute break with our guest, the mayor of Orange Beach, Alabama, Tony Keene. Stay tuned. Hi, if he was president of the United States, we would have no problems. And I just appreciate your speaking out. During the break, you told me that you're concerned because you have a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old. So you have a vested interest in what is going to be the future down the road 5 years as a result of this bill.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know all the horror stories of all the other, super toxic sites, Love Canal, and all the throughout history. And you know, we worked all our lives to be able to have this quality of life and have our home here. And now, I don't know if we're going to have it or not. I don't know what the threat is, what the long-term ramifications are. But I will not take any chances with my children. I can tell you that right now. And so that's one of the reasons we're going to have our specialists evaluate it, because I'm going to know what the threat is for our folks, and they're going to know what the threat is. We're not going to hold anything back.
Well, that is encouraging. And I know that Chris Landau said that, he's an environmental geologist, and I mean, he's an incredible person. If you need anybody else as a source of information, and I'm sure there's plenty of good people that have contacted you, but he said that the EPA ought to be told right now, this minute, you put up every mile monitoring stations. We want monitoring stations for the hydrogen sulfide, for the benzene, for all of these items and components, and then put them in buoys 5 miles out so we know what is fixing to happen to us. And I think that's a very important point, that the least that they could be doing is the monitoring stations for the citizens that live there.
Absolutely. That's just a pittance compared to the money that they're spending and the money they're making. So I agree with you. That's, to me, that's at the very top of the priority list is our health. I mean, that's stating the obvious, but we're going to do it. I give you and all my folks my word. We're going to know what's going on, whatever it takes, whatever it costs.
Well, that is excellent, and we'd like for you to keep us up to speed on that. As soon as you find out what the status of the air quality is, we'd like to know, and we'd like to spread the word. And I know a lot of our listeners in that area are desperately wanting to know also. You know, if I see one more BP commercial, knowing how much these commercials cost, and by the way, all of the BP stations in our area have now changed to Phillips 66. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, ours are changing to Shell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it is interesting, isn't it?
How convenient, isn't it? Yes.
So, and you know what? I feel bad for the independent owners, the local folks, but at the same time, you make a deal with the devil. It just sort of comes back to haunt you. But I'm the same way. I watch these commercials, and, it's the perfect example of that little book we used to see, How to Lie with Statistics. And see them throw out these faces and these guys who are volunteering, and they've been here all their life, and and then they throw out these numbers, and it really upsets me, because if you got to spin to make yourself look good, you must really, really be bad.
Well, you must really have something to hide if it costs you $50 million to polish this pig up and put the lipstick on it. $50 million lipstick is an awful expensive little treat.
And all they got to do is do the right thing. They wouldn't have to spend a dime, because we would be their best PR machine. We would be singing their praises again to high heaven. That's right.
That's right. Now, if you can stay with us for about 10 more minutes, is that possible?
Sure.
Okay. I'd like to open up our phone lines. Now, the first priority are people in this area, people in his area. The first priority for phone calls will go to people in Alabama. If there's none of those calling in that have a question, then we will go to other callers. So I want to open up the phone lines, take just a few callers. He's being very kind to give us this time right now, ladies and gentlemen, because he's got, can you imagine the people coming to him and saying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know if I could deal with all of that. But this is a man who has the job of trying to take care of his people. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. Question or comment for Mayor Tony Keenan. We'll be back after this 1 minute, 10-second break. That's all we're going to be gone with the Power Hour. Stay tuned.